In this world of constant scrolling and short form content, Maria, how would you remind people that in this world of constant scrolling and short form content, Maria, how would you remind people that reading is still worth their time?
I think the ultimate thing that you can say, apart from, having the usual spiel of, books are good for you, good for your mental health, they're good for your brain, blah, 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 blah. I think the one thing I would say is just remember that we exist outside of work, outside of chores, outside of the things we need to do for our family, the expectations everyone has for us. When you get a book into your hands, it's just you in the book. That's something that nobody can break, and you are entitled to that time when you read, whether it's 1 hour because you don't have such a busy day today, or it's just 10 minutes before you go into bed. And it is super healthy. I think every time, if you realize how much time we spend on our phones, like mindlessly scrolling, and I think it's called doom scrolling, that's what the young people call it these days. It's astonishing. Like, my phone has started sending me notifications that, you use your phone like an hour more than last week. And I'm like, I did not do anything in purpose. Like, I didn't have a busier week on my phone. So 1 hour of my life, I spend it on my phone, potentially scrolling, where I could be writing, I could be reading, I could be literally doing anything else. So I think if we try to swap out a little bit of the time we spend on our phone, again, even if it's 10 minutes or 5 minutes, or say, I'm going to read 2 pages today right before I go to bed, I think it's super important. It's super healthy. And for me, it's self-care. It's like, when you go to a spa, when you go on a little holiday, and it's something so very deeply personal. I think I don't have kids, but I think that when you have a lot of responsibilities as a parent or as a person who is employed somewhere or whatever, or you take care of your family, it is very important not to lose yourself in the tasks and the expectations. And the book you pick, it's something you picked it, something picked your interest in it, or someone who cares about you recommended it. So it's something very, very uplifting, I think, and it does help us stay ourselves when there is, in this world that's only quick information and responsibility, and you have to pay your bills and you have to show up work and nothing seems to be working. That is very, very, it's like a little oasis, I think, reading in everything that's happening. That's how it feels, at least, especially when I'm very overwhelmed.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's like most things. If you don't set time to get busy with those, then it will never happen, because there is so much in the schedule. There's so many distractions and people messaging you, and at some point it just fade away between all the others. So you need to schedule if you want to do it, because otherwise it'll be postponed ever and ever. When it comes to encouragement, I think, like with everything else, we shouldn't just mandate, like, do this, do that. Most people hate it. Most people don't like to obey, although they obey a lot, but consciously they don't like to do what they are told. So I think perhaps it's a better strategy to sell the benefits, tell how good it is to do, in this case, reading. How positive would that be? You can just come up with a package of perks, or even a lead by example, saying, by reading, as you guys just mentioned, I feel better about myself, I can relax, I can sleep better, instead of just saying, you should read, you'll be no one without reading, because at least a good fraction of people will just refuse for the sake of refusing. And I feel we understand, like, we are not like, most of us are not yes sir individuals. So if someone is just forcing reading on you, chances are that they will say no. So Jeroen, if someone says, I just don't have the time to read, which is BS, what would you tell them?
Well, everybody's got 10 minutes. I don't care how busy you are, right? I don't care how much stuff you have going on, how many kids you have, how much, work life, blah, 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 blah. Everybody's got 10 minutes. And if you can switch out 10 minutes of sitting on your phone scrolling or whatever else, right? Because you're going to find 10 minutes to do that. So then switch it out, and just say, well, instead of doing that, I'm going to go and read a book, a poem, a piece of literature, a play, I don't know, whatever it is that floats your boat. But everybody does have time. This is the thing, right? This is the myth that people don't have time. People don't have time if they don't want to make time, right? It's as simple as that. If you want to make time, you will make time. And I could not, there's a few things that I would say that you should make time for in your life, sports, exercise, and being outside, being in nature, and something like reading. Because reading expands your mind. It expands your knowledge. It expands yourself. It expands your self-worth. You know more about stuff, things that you are interested in. It gives you so much more. There's just so much information. And actually, it's relaxing. It's never, stressful or it's never, the way like kind of, scrolling and all that kind of stuff can, like Maria said, doom scrolling, whatever, you can actually get kind of stressed out by your phone and you're just going, Jesus, what's going on? You know what I mean? And like, but reading is never stressful. It never, ever, ever is stressful. It can only be relaxing, which everybody needs. Everybody needs time to relax. Everybody needs time to switch off. So everybody has time. Just people choose not to. They choose to say, I have no time. I'm too busy. What are you busy doing with? What are you busy doing with? You're scrolling. Take 10 minutes out. And I would argue that if you take 10 minutes out today, out of your phone or whatever it is that you're, putting your time into, and you read for 10 minutes, tomorrow you'll read for 15. Mm-hmm. The next day, you'll read for more. The thing about these things, like so many other things, you have to start. I think the people now are out of the habit of reading. It gives me endless pleasure. When I'm on the train, it's packed, right? And I see one or two people on the train. And I'm actually seeing more and more people on the train with a book now than I have ever seen, which is brilliant. And it gives me an enormous pleasure to see somebody opening a book and reading, like just that simple thing. And everybody has time. There is time. That's complete BS that we don't have time. You've got to make time. That's the difference. You've got to choose to make time. And this is something that I personally believe is really, really important for all the reasons: good mental health, better sleeping, less stress, more relaxation. This is something that will give you all of those benefits. 100%. And it's something that you should make time for. Simple. It's and you will leave that book, even if you only read for 10 minutes, with a much more relaxed, the day has gone by, whatever it is, the stresses of work, all that stuff, it's all left behind because of that 10 minutes of reading. So I would argue that it's only everybody has time and everybody should make time for reading. And yes, I'm agreeing with you, Vitor. You shouldn't say to people, oh, you have to read, whatever. But reading can only be a benefit to you. That's all. Yep. It can only be a benefit. It cannot be a negative in any way, So that's just my point of view on it. And making time for that makes you a better person in terms of, being more relaxed, being whatever, less stressed, less, all these things. It can only benefit you. So make time. You have it. And if it's 10 minutes, so what? I guarantee you'll feel better after it.
Yeah, 100%. Every time I see someone opening a book in public, there are two things, I think. I mean, there are a few, but there are two main things. One is this person is choosing his choices, which is something that most of us don't. And, I'm not an exception. I try to be the owner of my choices, but I'm not the owner all the time. And the other one is this person is good at time management, because as you just said, this person is making time to read, because this is a personal decision. There's no one telling you have to read, or you need to, or it's not like answering message or checking the news. You made it to the end. Well done. If you are interested in the full episode, click here. Or if you want to watch other episodes, click here. And if you want to be notified of the upcoming episodes, click subscribe. Thank you.